Well, welcome back to the Social Club. I'm still joined, of course, by Ira from United People's TV and the one, the only Ped from Toffee TV. We're here this time to talk about England versus Turkey. More importantly, Ira, what do you think Roy's learnt about the squad from that game yesterday?
Vardy and Kane, I reckon that they're going to be our front two come the first game, or come.
How did you think they linked up then?
Yeah, I think they look really well, because obviously like Vardy's had an amazing season, hasn't he?
They both have, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh, so has Kane, but Kane was good last season. And we all thought, maybe it's a bit of a one-season wonder. He's done it again this season. He's done it for England, during the qualifiers, and he's looking.
I think Vardy now's got 3 and 3 for England, has he? I mean, for me, Ped, he looks like an international class.
He's in form.
Yeah,
That's what we need going into a tournament.
Yeah.
Players that are in form.
It's funny because Roy Hodgson, a lot was labelled at Roy Hodgson, wasn't it? About, we'll only take the old guard and all that type of stuff. Yeah. He does seem to be playing the players that are in form, Ped.
Yeah, I think what yesterday showed, or certainly the England game, Sunday, was that Vardy playing out on the left. It didn't really work in the first half because he was getting caught up tracking back too much, and it was
which he did well in first.
Oh yeah, but you're taking a really important part of his game away from him, which is him on the defender's shoulder looking for that ball over the top. And it was funny when Drinkwater came on. He did it a couple of times and he was in straight away. And I think sometimes England managers try to reinvent football in someone else's image, whereas sometimes it's easy to just stick at what you're good at or what's got those players there. And every time Vardy in the second half late on got on the shoulder and someone played a through ball, he was in every time. Yeah. He's faster than anybody else, faster than anybody. And I think he'll be faster than any defender in the Euros. So that, I think it's going to be really interesting, because I think, and I know it's only one friendly, but I think he got ahead of Kane in the pecking order there. And I think it's going to be really interesting, because I think he might have, like you're saying now, it might end up being the two of them playing up front, and that's going to be really interesting for the rest of the team, because I think it's going to open possibilities up, but also close the door on a few players. Yeah. Rooney, he's going to have. I think the other thing I showed yesterday, they do lack a leader in the team, and I think that's where Rooney's going to have to come back into the side, because they do lack leaders. I mean, defensively, they're a mess. They've got 3 centre-halves. John Stones, who didn't have a great season, and is still very immature as a defender. He doesn't necessarily follow the game well. He hasn't, because that takes experience, let's be honest. Or there's some great players who are born with it. He's not one of those players yet. He's got a lot of good things, but he needs some with him. Kale is shite. I don't care what anyone says. He's shite. He's the senior centre half, and he made John Stones, or Hodgson had to play John Stones on the left-hand side. Now, John Stones is a right-sided centre-back, so as a young player, should play in his position. It happens at us. Jagielka plays on the left-hand side because he's the senior centre-back, and Kale still has to play on the right. That tells me that Kale is shite.
Or stupid, or both.
All of the above. Now, I watched the cup final on Saturday. Now, early on in the season, I saw Smalling was great. He was abysmal on Saturday. Why does he try to rugby tackle everybody?
I don't know. Why would you do that in a cup final? And nearly,
but he gets himself in a position where he's so tight to a striker that all they have to do is turn the body and they're on the other side.
Zaha's so fast, isn't he? Any defender worth his salt doesn't get that close to him because it's too easy to be turned. Yeah. But I think, talking about the cup final stuff, I want to get your opinion on this, actually. Rooney played centre mid. Is that a position you think he could fill in for England?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Because I've said with Man United, Rooney's not the man to lead the line anymore. He's getting on a bit. He's starting to lose a bit of pace. And
pace, Rooney. Okay, just me.
It's all up there.
Okay, that's fine.
He's a lot faster. I think he's really a lot faster.
You know what Rooney's got? Rooney's got above all else a desire to get to the ball.
He can cover ground very quickly.
And that's not about how fast he is.
He doesn't use it that often, though. He doesn't use it that often.
Well, he used it to skin 6 people in the cup final, didn't he?
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That in that instance, but over the season, he hasn't done it that much. There's like he's lacked that hunger a little bit, and that's where someone like Rashford's been a breath of fresh air because he's willing to chase after the ball, and whereas Rooney is not.
I think the thing with Rooney is, and this might be from all players who come from really small clubs, is that he probably values England a little bit more than other players. Certain Liverpool players wouldn't care that much about England, but coming from Everton, he sees the shining light of his career on the world stage for England, doesn't he, Ira?
Well, he knows.
Hang on. Whoa. I'm not being sucked in. I'm not being sucked into this because it's the whole Everton thing, but I'm more. I'm just. I think you just need to check Rooney's medals and then just check them against.
He left Everton to win those, didn't he?
Well, that's not an issue, and I don't know why you brought it into it. That's just pure spite and hatred.
Yeah, it is probably. But you know what? Paul's on here. I can do spite and hatred better than most.
I think he'll play centre midfield because I think they need that leadership in the team. They need someone to guide the whole team, and that's open. That for me means he'll play in that centre midfield, and that. Now, from an Everton point of view, I look at that now and I look at a player like Ross Barkley and I think, where's he going to fit into the whole thing? And Rashford probably injured now, so he'll probably have to drop out the squad. Townsend, maybe one of the other ones.
That's a shame.
And then I look around. He loves Wilshere. And Wilshere was garbage yesterday. He's garbage and shouldn't be going. Henderson shouldn't really be going. No, Drinkwater should be going because he won a Premier League and he's in good form, and that's what we should be looking at. Dyer is the only one who's got any kind of
defensive mindset.
I wasn't even going to say that. He just bossed because he goes around kicking people, and I love a bit of that.
I think if England do well at the Euros, that it'll be built on these club relationships. Yeah. And for me, that at the moment is Leicester and Spurs. I think you look at Drinkwater now, he linked up with Vardy, and you look at going Kyle Walker through to Dyer, and then Dele Alli and Kane are the two. That's where you're looking and you go, I was excited to watch Dele Alli link up with Kane, when I could actually put something into the game, and seeing the way that they just understand each other brilliantly.
That's where the likes of Wilshere, for me, just they haven't even played, so never mind relationships. Wilshere I just thought was rubbish.
He did look quite tired, didn't he?
He's so off the pace. And I know people will go, we'll give him a few weeks. Nah, listen.
Well, you could watch Match of the Day and you could look at his highlights of skinning two players and hitting it near post, but that's it. That's all he did.
He, for me, shouldn't be going because you're talking relationships. He hasn't played all season, and then you're asking someone to suddenly step up and get into the groove of players who've won titles or whatever this
together
season.
As well.
Henderson, I don't even know what he offers.
The thing with the Henderson thing, look, everyone knows I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm massively
biased. Where did he play?
I don't think he would. This is the point.
He's back up, isn't he?
He's done well in the qualifiers and he got them there, and that might be Roy Hodgson's thinking, is that he did well in those qualifiers.
Who would he come in for?
Right now, no one.
So all right then, let's just say, Lallana, who would he come in for?
Oh, that's a tough one, because I think Lallana plays in one of those positions behind the striker.
Which is Dele Alli.
Exactly, and you look at it, if Vardy plays on the left-hand side, you don't swap out Vardy's pace for Lallana's. Exactly. It's simple as that. And
that's where I worry about Ross Barkley, because I think to myself, well, who would he swap for? And it's the natural one is Dele Alli, but then I think, has Wayne Rooney suddenly got ahead of Ross Barkley because Wayne Rooney looks like he needs to play? Yeah. And then I think, then I worry, I genuinely think he might leave Ross behind then, but I don't think Wilshere should be going full stop.
But he wouldn't be in this squad if Hodgson didn't think he could take him, and that's a worry as an England fan, isn't it? I think
they definitely should have took another centre-back as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because
those three I said this last week, Dyer is needed far too much in midfield. Him and Drinkwater should be just sitting in front of that back four, and because we need that back four looks shaky as hell. It looks shaky, and the top teams are just going to take the mick. It needs two.
And for me, the left back doesn't look that good. He was
How did he get man of the match? He was terrible.
He was awful, wasn't he? And their goal basically comes from him stepping up and the fella coming in from behind.
Man.
And I know West Ham fans think I have something against him, but Creswell should be the England left back. He definitely should be. Plus he's from Liverpool as well.
Yeah, we like that. Yeah. Okay, so let us know in the thoughts. Your comments. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What I want to know is, where do you think England will get to in the Euros? Lads, just quickly before we go from you, Ida, where do you think England will get to in the Euros?
Quarters, if we're lucky.
Again, semis. Brilliant.
Montpellier.
Where's that?
It's in France.
Yeah, next. as far as rounds go?
Nice.
Nice, it's right down south.
Nice. Paris.
Okay, brilliant. Ped's playing games. Look, he knows his French knowledge, which from a team that doesn't get into Europe that much is pretty good anyway. Thanks for joining us on the Social Club, and we'll see you next time.